Okay, critters, welcome back to part 2 of the Asia Scrapbook series. This is what we're calling it now. This is me on the bus from the Vietnam border through the Cambodian border. We were a little nervous because we were told that through the customs on the border they can be quite intimidating, but we never felt intimidated at all. They were just like usual border security people, very stern. Arrived in Cambodia quite late at night. So we got a tuk-tuk and then we went to our hostel. We stayed in a place called Alice in Wonderland Backpackers. It was something Wonderland Backpackers, and every room was themed something different, and we got the plastic or pink and plastic room, and so you will see what our room was like. It was pretty crazy. I think it's also important to mention that we didn't splurge to stay anywhere. We were trying to make our money go as far as possible, which is why we bussed everywhere and didn't fly anywhere. I think the most expensive place that we stayed in was 20 New Zealand dollars. They were all super affordable. We stayed in Airbnbs, we also stayed in hostels. Both were amazing. Asian hostels are so clean, so cheap, amazing facilities. Yeah, I would super recommend either. It looks so trippy. Whoa. So we were only there for a night, just because we arrived late and we just needed to chill somewhere close. And then the next day we booked a hostel, and this is it. It was absolutely insane. It was so cheap, ridiculously cheap. And it had a rooftop pool. Our room was amazing. It was air conditioned. It was pretty central. The people were so lovely. So the second night we were there, we went and we explored the street. They have a place called Pub Street, which is one of the main streets in Siem Reap, which is where we were staying. We only ended up going to Siem Reap because we weren't really too sure about the timings of everything. We really wanted to go to Angkor Wat, we knew that. Give us a little boogie in the street, dude. Gotta like crazy lady.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yes! Oh yeah, he saw the vlog and he knew we were famous. This is us getting rolled ice cream. I got an Oreo flavor. If you haven't had rolled ice cream, you really need to experience it at least once. The first night we were there, we ended up going into a restaurant, and the owner of the restaurant came up to Charlotte and I, and he sat down at the table and we started chatting, and basically Charlotte and I explained to him that we were wanting to go to Angkor Wat, and he said, oh, my friend drives a tuk-tuk, you're gonna need a tuk-tuk to get around the whole place. And so obviously Charlotte and I were a bit sketch, radio. He rang his friend, and his friend came to the restaurant and we met him, and we were okay, well, we agreed on a price. I think we paid 20 New Zealand dollars for the whole day, which is kind of round about what is normal. We had to Google, and we said, okay, well, you can pick us up. This is our hotel. We kind of didn't really have high hopes, but the guy rocked up and he was so lovely. He brought us water, he drove us around to all the sites, he had recommendations, he was super lovely, and it worked out really well in our favour. So sometimes you just have to learn to trust people. Angkor Wat was absolutely incredible. We didn't really know what to expect because we heard how touristy it was, obviously, especially nowadays. We didn't go early in the morning, which is what lots of people recommend to kind of avoid the crowds. But honestly, it wasn't that awful. These girls I felt so sorry for. They were so gorgeous, and basically you could pay them and get your picture taken with them, but man, I felt so sorry for them. It was boiling hot. This day is the sweatiest I've ever been in my life. I'm not even kidding. And obviously you have to have your legs and shoulders covered, and the structures are not small. The stairs are vertical 90-degree angle stairs. I'm not even kidding you. You have to hike up them, and the whole place is literally in the jungle, so you're literally just walking through the jungle up structures. It's amazing. You have to be quite fit. I'm such a history nerd, and just being there and kind of thinking about how they've been there for so many thousands of years and how many different people have looked at these exact same structures is just crazy to me. I can't even quite comprehend. When you look at how huge the structures are, it's crazy to believe that pretty much every corner of the place is decorated in such intricate detail like this. When you go to Angkor Wat, you can either get a 1-day pass or like a 3-day pass, I think. You would need the 3-day pass to be able to get round the whole thing. Charlotte and I only had a day, so we just went to as many places as you can. You can't walk from place to place because it is so huge and so spread out, because obviously it was a whole civilization. And so we chose 3 of the main places that we wanted to go and see. Then our tuk-tuk driver drove us to each different place. This is the second place that we went to. Forgive me for not remembering what it's called, but it's the place that has lots of the sculptures of the heads all over the buildings. Of course, the last place that we went to had to be the famous movie shoot places where they shot things like Tomb Raider and Indiana Jones, and it was just really cool to see with the trees growing through them, ginormous roots. Lots of Angkor Wat looks like what Earth would look like if nature took back over, which I really, really like. On the last day Charlotte and I were there, we went to a war museum for the Cambodian Civil War. You could hire a tour guide and he would take you around the museum, which had lots of memorabilia. It had old war crafts and tanks, and the guy that we got actually was in the war, and he was so amazing, so interesting to listen to. They called him the Cat because he had lived 9 different lives and he should have died so many times. He explained to us about the landmines that were still in lots of Cambodian fields that quite often still killed people because they were still live.
I found all of the only dog it can sniff it. But the German dog only, it's smart, it can sniff a German shepherd, yeah? Not Cambodian dog now. Cambodian dog can sniff only food and hamburger only.
We were in Cambodia for about 5 nights, I think, but obviously I didn't film all of it. And then after that we headed off to Thailand.